Okay, so at this point in the game, we know we're in a simulation, yeah? Hold on one second, I'm just checking something on my computer. Okay. We know that we're in a sim. Hey, whether you want to, doesn't just, yeah. Anyway, I wanted to talk about how the separation happens, yeah? The separation between God and itself. So what is meanness? Yeah, what is the notion, or what do you understand meanness to be? Not meanness, but me-ness, right? What do you understand that to be? My understanding of meanness is, you know, me with my configuration, my understanding, my worldview, yeah, in my simulation bubble, yeah, my reality bubble. Happy days. Okay. Now, say I want to play Lego with my kids, or I want to play WWE, or Nerf guns, or bubbles, or anything, yeah? Any game we want to play. I have to abandon that meanness in order to go and, walk with me here, animate another character and see, experience, and live from the perspective of that character. Yeah? Okay. So if I pick up that Lego piece, or I pick up that mask, yeah, say I wear the Hulk mask or whatever, I am no longer me. Yeah? I am the Hulk. I've become the Hulk. I talk like the Hulk. I move like the Hulk. I do everything like the Hulk. My expressions, even behind the mask, are like Hulk-like, right? Right? Okay. Cool. So that's what that's the beginning of the separation, right? Now, where did I get the understanding of what Hulk is? How did I know how Hulk walks, talks, moves, etc., etc., etc.? However I got that information is irrelevant, yeah? But the fundamental bottom line, yeah, the cornerstone of that whole argument is I was aware of another character elsewhere, right? And in order for me to experience that character elsewhere, for whatever my purpose is, whether it's a game, fucking Halloween, or fancy dress, whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is, in my awareness, there is an entity called the Hulk, and he walks, talks, moves, jumps, does everything this way, right? Okay. Now, in order for me to experience the Hulk, for whatever reason I may have, I will need to separate myself, yeah, from this current me and step into the body of the Hulk. Yeah? You following, yeah? Cool. So straight off the bat, you see that there is that's how the separation happens. Consciousness has to jump into a sim through a body. Yeah? Okay. Maybe through a navel or a crown. Maybe let's just call it Polaris, yeah? So jump into that body, and we say, okay, so now I'm playing the Hulk. I'm being the character. Now, let's come back to the original point. So from where me is standing, me has an awareness of Hulk. The me has an awareness of the Hulk existing, and the me knows the Hulk. Yeah. In fact, the me is aware that Hulk is a character in the wider simulation that he lives. He knows it's not real, but he knows it's a character and exists in the collective consciousness. So what happens? You have an awareness that Hulk has a mind, because Hulk is powered by two things. Yeah. Whether he's alive or dead, he's powered by energy. Yeah. Because he's not dead. Yes, he's not alive here, but he's not dead either. He's not dead, okay? He's not dead. Iron Man, as a character, because of the Avengers thing where he died, right? Even though he exists in other timelines, in our timeline, Iron Man has died. The character. But in the comics and the other multiverses, he's still alive, so he's neither alive or dead. But at the same time, he's only a character. He's not real. Okay? Yeah? Because even if you took Robert Downey Jr., and I don't really want to use a human as an example, because even if you took a person who, let's say Charlie Chaplin, yeah? Charlie Chaplin used to play the role of Charlie Chaplin really well. And let's say he made a movie where Charlie Chaplin died. We would have known that, oh yeah, well, Charlie has died in the collective consciousness. But the movies will still play on and we'll still go and watch them and we're still aware that, oh, Charlie, you know, his name hasn't died. So that means he's still alive somewhere in the collective consciousness, right? At the same time, the character that plays him, that's walking around, everybody is aware of who he is. And when he dies, he's still alive and he's still alive and dead. He's still alive, but he's not here, but he's not dead because you can still see him, you can still hear about him, and he still exists somewhere. If he didn't exist, we wouldn't be able to even speak about him. He wouldn't exist. Do you understand? So let's come back to Iron Man. So Iron Man's a character, we're all aware of it. We all know that, okay, that's who Iron Man is. And he's in a corner over there. And I'm aware that he has a mind, right? And he has a certain way that he behaves and a certain way that he talks, walks, blah, blah, blah. So when I play his character, I embody all those things through his mind, not my mind. Because I've jumped into his body, which already has a mind in it because it's powered. He's not just a lump of goop on the floor. Yeah? He has everything from emotions to, you know, running his body. Yeah. And running his AI. All in. Yeah. Cool. Now we're at this juncture. So you jumped into the character who already has a brain. So you're going to have to share your brain, or not your brain, because you don't really have a brain, your consciousness. So you just have to share his brain with him in order for you to be that character. So even though you're still going to do the Hulk thing and do everything, you're still aware that if your phone rings or your phone buzzes, that might be the email that you're expecting. Yeah. You still have that awareness within that kind of like weird space that you're inhabiting. Yeah. You're still you at the end of the day is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. You're still the me. Yeah. You're still you. And if somebody calls your name, you still turn your head. You're not going to turn if they say, you know, you're not Hulk. You know that you're still you. Okay. Now say you get so immersed in the Hulk, yeah? Cosplay, everything, you change your whole house to it. Everything, like you're on it. You fucking go and get these horse veneers and everything, and you look like you got, you know how Hulk's got like really big teeth and you've gone and changed it. You've done everything. Hit the gym, steroids, you fucking baned yourself up. You're massive. You know, you even wear green clothes and shit, like you talk like him. No, you're doing all of that, right? It'll get to a point where even though there is separation and there's an awareness of separation, there gets to a point because you're so immersed in the story, you start to respond more to Hulk than actual John. Let's let it breathe. Yeah? Okay, cool. So you start to realize, okay, cool, that's the situation that's happening. Fuck. So you become more Hulk than yourself. Yeah? So what happens? Yourself, who's still yourself, might try and tell you, it's getting a bit much now, mate. And you still won't listen. Because you're enjoying the story too much. So just like the parent that jumped in the thing that was playing the thing, there is a part of you that will literally go, okay, that's it. And then do something to basically shock you out of that, because that thing playing Hulk didn't come here to play Hulk forgetting that it's it. It came here to play Hulk, but as itself, not Hulk. So even though it'll be wearing the suit and stuff like that, yeah, it can play around as Hulk and stuff like that, but it has an inner knowing of what it wants to do and what it wants to say and what it wants to, how it wants to flow its energy. So everybody you encounter is a character in your simulation. Yeah. And even the animals are also characters in your simulation. In the same way, if you replace Iron Man with a dog or a lion and you take it too seriously, you will literally start biting people in the street and stuff like that, wouldn't you? Because you believe that you are a lion. But you yourself as a lion realize that being a lion is a character you're playing because you observed a lion in your reality and incorporated it. Yeah? So when you're not living authentically and you're living for people and you're copying people and you're trying to be like people and you're doing things for people and you're worried about what people think, or you're trying to, actually, do you know what? Look at it this way. You're trying to be something, yeah? You're trying to be a character. You're trying to be a character. Because it's not organic. If it's not flowing to you naturally, that's not you. Because the same way I observe Hulk in the corner, Hulk doesn't just naturally flow to me, does it? I'm not just going to walk around going, and just jump over like a fucking house. I'm not going to do that, right? There is a spot within your experience which is just you. And that you, the beauty of it is that you does not exist anywhere in your simulation. Everybody else does. Every other possible character does. Every possible permutation does. Guys, do you remember what I said with the zeros down the whole pole and the impossible coincidence? You are the impossible coincidence. So you are literally have showed up in a place full of characters. Yeah? But the crazy thing is you're actually not a character. You're pure energy in a character suit. Right? So being anybody, trying to be like anyone, trying to please anybody, trying to act a certain way, trying to behave a certain way, trying to fit in, trying to do all this weird stuff, trying to impress people. Yeah. Trying to get validation from people, trying to get people to see you or rate you or What? You're not a character? Why are you doing character shit? You literally can, because you've showed up in this place with all these characters and you're all playing their roles and stuff, you can literally just sit in a corner and just decide to read a book the whole time and no one can tell you anything. They might say it's not cool, but who cares? They're characters. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Who cares what they think? Because on a higher level, you realize that you are an energy just being a character. But you are not letting the story of the character overrule your mind. Because the suit that you're wearing has a story and a backstory and is both alive and dead, just like Incredible Hulk. Right, hold on. Give me one sec. Yeah. I don't know when I pause this. So anyway, yeah, that's it really. Just come to the awareness that you are consciousness sharing a mind of a character. Yeah. But you didn't come here to be the character. You came here to be you, the consciousness itself. Yeah. And that's the only way you can truly appreciate, play, and enjoy the current simulation that's running, because the character that you are, the flesh-based thing, yeah, the configuration, has been chosen because consciousness has an awareness of that character. This is why that story already like exists in the kind of consciousness. You as a story exists, just like how the story of Hulk exists in our collective consciousness. You exist. You're a story just like Hulk and everybody else. But the reason why you're here experiencing it now is because your story is incomplete. Do you understand? So the fact that the story is incomplete, we need to finish writing it, right? But when you fall into the flesh, you are replaying aspects of the character that have already been played. The awareness already exists. You came here to keep writing a story, have new experiences, yeah? So when you loop back around in a cycle, yeah, by living in the flesh, living in the ego, living in that construct called the mind, you've gone into the underworld, bro. So imagine this. Let me explain this. Pure light, yeah, is coming through a spectrum. Coming through a prism, yeah? Visualize this with me, yeah? A beam of light, let's say circular, and it hits the prism. Bang, yeah? Once it hits the prism, it splits into the rainbow, which deconstructs you as a physical form, yeah? So you're all these 7 colors, yeah? Stacked one on top of each other. You're like the color man, yeah? These 7 colors. Now, when you look to the ground, a shadow gets put down because the light beam is still behind you, yeah? You're still it, but you've caused a separation because you're here to experience a character through the prism, yeah? It's a simulation, basically, yeah? Okay. So, the shadow that's on the floor is the character. You're here to play it. That's what gives you the definition, the physical form, yeah? So now you can separate yourself like, hey, hi, I'm me. I am me in me. Yeah. That's how you can see yourself in yourself. Yeah. We're all in the mind of God, bro. We're all in that hole. So anyway, you see that shadow. If you fall into that hole and you start to live when I say pre-agreed, it's not pre-agreed, it's pre-lived stories of it. You're just going to be looping around in circles in the underworld, what we call hell, because you be living in ego, bro. It's already happened. So you're going to experience more of the same shit, because more of it. It might appear to you that the people are changing, right? But the people can change forever. Yeah. That simulation has already been lived. You will get the same outcome every fucking time. It's a sim. It's already been played. So now being in this current state, yes, you are within that character, but you're supposed to live in a different way. You're supposed to live as you. You're not supposed to live as the character. The minute you live as the character, the game's done. You're down there. You're down there. It's finished. Because what do you experience when you go down there? They're trying to do this. I've got to do this because of a bunch of fucking stories. Just a bunch of fucking stories, bro. So in the same way that we watch Iron Man and Hulk and Batman and we know the story, the story's already been lived, right? So if you put on that suit and you're embodying it, super cosplay, blah, 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 you're already playing a story that's been lived 10 million times, bro. So if you were born with green skin, let's say, yeah, you have that natural disposition of that character. You sound like him, walk like him, talk like him, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to be like the previous version or the story of that version because you came here as you. So yeah, you're just gonna be you. And if that means that you are actually a Hulk-like person in real life, that's your natural kind of like current expression that you're in, but you're still you, and you rather play the piano or the flute or write a book or whatever it is, then that's you. That's the expression, that's the experience you came to gain, which adds to the story. Because once you die, the memory will get erased. I'm telling you that now, off rip, right? And you play it again until the stories are complete. The stories are not complete. That's why we're here. We're still learning. Yeah. So the thing itself is trying to figure things out for itself, of itself. But it's mental because we find ourselves in this dimension, right? Where everything feels tangible and real and solid and stuff like that. But at the same time, there's this kind of strange, unnerving feeling that things have changed too much. And it's almost like we live in some sort of like digital realm. And, you know, we've gone from fucking massive TVs, right, to these, it's like we've jumped into another kind of time almost. Yes, because we are in another simulation, bro. And if we all got phased out by an atomic bomb, or we all fucking, a disease killed all of us, bro, you wouldn't even know it's happened. This is how sophisticated it is. You wouldn't even know it's happened. You literally wouldn't know it's happened. Bro, the same way you just spawn here, you can spawn out of here, bro. You spawn out of here every night. Yesterday I was dreaming and I was all the way in like somewhere in like St. Petersburg. Yeah, bro. I felt everything. Everything was like, yeah. Do you understand? And I'm not even sure if I was me. The only awareness I had was of the you, the actual thing, the energy itself. The I, should I say. The physical is a story, yeah? And the thing is running simulations on itself, just to understand itself, you know? And each iteration is like, okay, cool, that didn't work out, cool. It appears like the people are changing and stuff, but not, it's just you. Because as you actually learn from the previous sims, right? Which is your life experience and the things and shit like that. And you start to approach authenticity. You start to approach love. You start to approach truth. You start to approach the real you, right? You start to approach balance. You start to approach oneness. You start to approach the divinity within you, right? Your character that starts to matter less and less and less and less and less and less. And before you realize, it's just this energy. And it doesn't even matter. You don't even feel your physical anymore. It's not even like really there. And you don't really care much for it because you know what it is. But at the same time, you are loving and caring to other physical forms because you know what they are. Because you know what you are. Do you understand? That's what it is. You know, there are so many people that think, oh yeah, I'm woke. And then they still don't even realize that they're still an ego. And there's people that are like, yeah, I'm conscious. And they're still an ego. And then, no, but they're still an ego. Because the ego thing is such a deep illusion, right? Because what the ego is doing is the ego is running the sims, right? The ego is running the simulations. These are your thoughts. It's a sim. It just runs it. Let's run this program. And it comes up. Are you gonna come to it, or are you just gonna stay walking the walking on your path? Keep walking your path. And if you're present, it'll have to pass, bro. If you're literally present every second of the day, a tornado will literally come and it'll pass you moment by moment. Nothing will happen to you. If you don't understand what I'm saying, you don't get it. If you're truly present, bro, it doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what it is, bro. So think of the ego as the wall of your reality, the wall of your reality bubble. Think of that as the ego, because that's the mind of the character. The bubble you're in is the mind of your character, right? And the wider reality, the wider awareness is the mind of God. So you are within the character's mind, in the mind of God, experiencing things. So when you repeat those stories of the character, you're not doing anybody any favors, because the character exists in the first place because those stories already exist, which means that they're already pre-programmed, which means that the sims have already been run. That's why when you know, like when you're in a toxic workplace and you're sensing, you feel it, you know, because you've already been in that situation. It's just a timeline you don't remember. You've already been there. You know, if you're in a bad relationship, you know it. You see the signs, they come up because you've lived it. Like, okay, cool. Where did those signs come from then? Seeing as people want to argue, where did that sensation come from of that feeling that that's not the right way to go? What? Oh, you decoded a micro pattern. Micro pattern, what? If you don't have an awareness of it, how would you see it? How do kids know who to trust instinctively? The most vulnerable, yeah, they know, nah. Why do animals instinctively know who to avoid? Oh, it's the energy they carry. No. Assimilation's already been run. Those two things have already interacted before. Yes, and the energy they carry is a factor, but the go around has already happened. Because it's a knowing, it's not a suspicion or like whatever the root is, it's knowing. You know. And you can only know if you have the experience of it. The assimilation. You've been there. So when you go somewhere like, this place feels so familiar. Bro, one time I went to Bermuda, yeah? And I'd never been to Bermuda in my life. And I remember when I got out of the plane, there was this feeling of intense familiarity I can't explain. It just boshed me in the face, like bosh. I was like, fuck, this is really weird. It's really, really weird. So I'm walking through the airport lobby and people are like, even the smiles and stuff felt really weird. It was like, you know, there was a guy there that called me old sport the whole time in almost like a knowing way. It was so strange. Anyway, and it's a very lovely place, by the way. If you can, go check it out. And I remember so I'm walking through the airport place. I'm like, nah, okay. So I set myself a challenge because the familiarity was too much. I knew where things were and shit. So I told myself, okay, coming up will be a watch advert, you know, and it was a watch that I was wearing at the time. And I remember coming around the corner and it was like there. And I was like, what the fuck? It was a watchmaker, not the same watch. But it was like, what the fuck? And when I got to the gate, the woman checked my passport. She didn't even check. She was looking at me smiling the whole time and talking. She didn't even, I'm very observant. I know what was happening. She didn't even check my thing. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. Have her, give it to me. There was a strange feeling there. And I was like, I feel like I've been here before. I'd never been. You know, so those deja vu and those sensations, right? Don't put them down to nothing. You've experienced them before. It's a loop. You've experienced it before. There's something there for you, and that kind of, when you see, these magic numbers and stuff like that. Why did you see them? Why did you see them? Like, why? Guys, you're in a sim, bro. And it's like usually when like the code, you've already been in an experience before or something like that, you get this, the signals will show because the reality has to overlay itself. It has to patch. So when you see these recurring numbers and stuff like that, it's usually when you're transforming or you're transitioning from one kind of like state of awareness to another, right? Really, really rapidly, just keep changing. So it's like the reality is constantly patching, and that's why being authentic and being real and having the faith to just know that, yeah, of course, and just take the step and know that the step will appear as you take the steps. That's literally what's happening, but people usually, because of fear, will rather revert to the program, the ego, and go and live a story because it's comfortable, even though it's literally shredding them from the inside. Anyway, I gotta go do some stuff.